You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton, here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, excited to do a quick podcast here. We're actually wrapping up one of the last couple of hours here at the 2022 Green Industry Hype House, a little tour that we've got going on down here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. We're actually now back in Tampa, Florida. We are looking outside of the grand luxury suite that the Aumans have. No shocker there. Looking at the airport. I think their PJ should be touching down any second now.
I'm waiting on it.
And
anxiously.
Getting that tarmac service. Probably the Audi car picks them up, takes them to and fro. And, one day I'd like to live like that, and we'll see how the other side lives. So any which way, we're joined by the always upbeat, always cackling, and connoisseur and chef, food sorter extraordinaire, Caleb Auman. How are we doing this morning, brother?
And customer service professional,
just
by the way.
Literally the jack of all trades.
It's incredible.
Master of all.
Stan Janek wrote a book about me called Jack Master.
Jack Master? Always jacking things up.
No, it was, what was Stan's book? It was
Before My Time.
Okay.
Jack of all trades, master of two?
That's what it was, yeah. So I think that's about me.
Well, that's his saying, but he wrote a book on that too?
I thought he put a book out
Gosh,
called that.
he's already notching the published author thing back before that was even a thing. That's pretty interesting.
No, you would know because you're buddies with Stan. So you would. I am not. I mean, I know Stan, and Stan I think remembers my name sometimes. But
Stan hasn't texted me in 3 months. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I haven't talked to Stan since 2 summers ago. So no, GIE. I guess whatever. Anyways,
he's like, hey, John.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'll take it, dude. Well, he remembered I have a name. It's just not that one.
He's like, hey, John, how's it going? You're like, great. He's like, how's Amy? You're like, whatever.
Things have been better with me and her, but we're not seeing each other exactly anymore.
Oh man. Well, so we're joined here, like we were saying, and we're kind of buttoning up the day. The Almonds and us, we were all just kind of hanging here for one extra day. We're actually here for 2 more days. These guys fly out. They have kids, responsibilities, businesses that they're trying to grow. So they have responsibilities. So they have to leave. Liz and I are apparently just never leaving Florida.
Talk about living the life over here.
I guess. Well, yeah, we're about to go find a double wide trailer and move in, and it's about at my pay grade, and maybe never come back. It'd be nice to have a nice brand new Ford Mustang GT out front of my double wide trailer. Maybe blend it with the locals, and this would be.
It's a Shelby.
Yeah, it's a Shelby. I got a $800 a month payment, but my lot rent's only $315, so that's okay. But you know what? I can make that work. I grew up in that, and I know how it all comes together. So we're over here wrapping things up, and it's been a week, man. It's been a crazy week. We've had ups and downs, left and rights. The Hype House, I think, was a lot of fun. It was a good success. Had some great people in, great content created. Caleb, what's your dissertation of the week? How did things go for you guys? Did you get some good content, some good interviews?
Yeah, I'm really happy with managed to catch, I think, everybody in the house for a podcast. I managed to. The only thing I didn't get out a lot was a lot of last year for the Hype House. We managed to get out and around and visit more job sites. We only got around to a couple job sites. Thank you, sir. On Monday, Tuesday, and then the rest of the week it turned into just the podcast station pretty much, and so podcasts everywhere you look going on in the house, and
Sure.
So that part was cool, and so lots of audio content, tons of audio content, but there are people out shooting YouTube videos. I got to go see a 100-ton excavator, which I'm still pretty excited to see. I'd never seen one in person that big. The Brentzel's have a 75-ton, which I thought was pretty freaking nuts. And then we were joking about, for the gearheads out there, you guys that know this stuff, we were kind of joking with AJ of they have a 75-ton excavator. It's I don't even know how much this freaking machine is. It's insanity. But, dollar-wise, but we're kind of joking it's like your 75-ton, and then you put another 20-ton excavator on top of it. So that was a cool hookup through AJ and then through Aaron Witt, of all people, down to Quality Enterprises. So big thanks to those guys for facilitating that. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
So we got to see that and then just see some other cool, stuff here in Florida, Tampa, and Siesta Key down there. So
yeah.
I had a great week, and Britt and I got got the content stuff in that we wanted to, and then here we are closing out. You and I always run down to the wire like this because we're trying to get our own content together. But we managed to squeeze it out here. Our flight's in a couple hours or something like that. So here we are down to the wire like usual.
Yeah.
But we're getting her out. So
we're actually kind of a little audible this morning because Liz actually gifted me for Christmas a helicopter flight over Tampa. And they're not anything fancy or schmancy. You can get a flight for $100, $200. You can spend $1,000 on a quick helicopter tour, but it's something that I've just found kind of be fun and fascinating. I never did anything like that ever, growing up. And Liz and I did one. I forget where we did our first one, and I'm trying to think. It'll come to me. But when we did it, I was like, "This is like really cool. Like we should see all the almost every city you go to has like a touring helicopter tour place, and for $99 or $129 or $200, you can go up and down for 15, 20 minutes, and it is just kind of nice to like get context of like the city you visit,
right? Yeah.
I think maybe it's Miami or something. We saw that it was available. We didn't take up the offer on it from one of the local places. But I said it'd be nice to like see Miami and like Biscayne Bay and like where is everything. And then the fun thing about those pilots is like they are in the know. Like they're like, oh, that's so and like Shaquille O'Neal's house and that's so and so's house. That's Drake's house. That's this guy's house. He goes, man, crazy parties. Like it's fun because they kind of know who's who. And they're like, oh yeah, but before that, so and so owned it, and then so and so before that, and they just give you fun history while you're like cruising, 120 miles up, or not miles up, but going 120 miles an hour, a couple hundred feet above the water or the bay. To me, that's really, really cool. So that was something I was looking forward to this morning. Unfortunately, looking out the window from the penthouse suite here, we got like gray, partly cloudy skies, and
it's a standard hotel room, folks. Just for the record.
For these guys, obviously. Standards, there's always a bigger fish. The irony of the whole situation is that we're just going to go here while we got it. So the Aumans get checked in at this hotel first, and we're on the 12th floor. I'll come back to that here in a second. And so imagine this: we're at I think it's the Hyatt over here, overlooking the airport. Beautiful area, beautiful resort. So we get up into, they get their room. Liz and I are just like loitering in the parking structure because we don't have a room. And so the Aumans get obviously ushered up first. The red velvet robes part. The fruit trays are ready. And the 13 servants.
We offer them, hey guys, come up whenever you want.
The 13 servants come out to take their bags. Looks like it's right out of Dumb and Dumber. And so Liz and I are just, Emmy's sleeping in her car seat. Liz is passed out sideways in the back seat of the car that we rented, and
which looks like a Saudi oil sheik ride, by the way.
Maybe. And then so we're just like sitting in the parking structure. It's getting dark. It's like dusk, and water's dripping all over the hood of the truck. And I'm like, well, let us know how the other side lives. And he's like, he's like, there's plenty of fruit over here for everybody. I mean, if I just open it up and share it. So anyway. Emmy did wake up, so we were like, hey, we'll come up to your room. Hopefully the spacious condo that you have up there has room for us, peasantry. So we come up here, and then our room was guaranteed. What was it, by 4:30? So it's we get up here like one. Their room was of course opened up at 1:00. That's how it works for those folks. And so we get up here at 1 or 2ish. Our room's not ready yet. 3:00. Our room's not ready yet. And so they're giving us all this grief. Well, hey, it takes time to clean up the master suite, the penthouse, the luxury 3-bedroom that you guys probably rented. So they're just for an hour and a half. They're just ragging us. Man, it must take a lot of time to get the penthouse cleaned up.
Yeah,
we're like,
a lot of square footage over there.
Yeah, that's how it works, right? So. 4:20, I think it was 4:21 or 4:19 on the clock. Room's guaranteed by 4:30, right? They text me, hey, come get your keys. And he's like, well, let me know how the luxury suite looks. So we go down there, we get our keys. I come up on the elevator. So our room's on floor 10. The Aumans are on floor 12. So you get in this elevator, and you guys have been to hotels like this. I go to like hit 12, and it like the light turns on, then the light turns off. I'm like, well, that's weird. I hit it again, light turns on, light turns off. And somebody says, we got to swipe your key to get to floor 12. I go, why is that? And they go, well, it's a private floor. And you look at the little gold placard on the thing. Brady's giving me the eye roll right now. It says like the grand floor, the Grand Hyatt floor, private floor. It literally says private floor. And I'm like, oh, how the turn have tables. I said the Aumans are on floor 12, all the private suites, and we're on floor 10 with the. So what did you say? The Titanic movie with Rose and Jack, like the Irish get stuff down below, like
they get the doors locked. We get going under.
So the whole place is down there for the peasantry class like Liz and I. So the irony, I think I got a key or something from the Aumans, and like an hour later, and I get onto the elevators, 4 or 5 other people on there, and I'm like, floor 12, please. Now knowing the joke, I'm like, floor 12, please. And the one guy like goes to hits the button and it doesn't work, and I go, oh, I'm sorry, 1 second here, you need a key to get up there. And I like hit the little key against the magnetic strip, and it like lights up, and everybody kind of looks at me like, who's that? Who's that? And I'm like, no, I'm just with the Aumans. I carry their bags.
Yeah, they have 3,000 YouTube subscribers. So, Brian, when you hit those kind of numbers, man,
I'm just like literally surprised the Hyatt didn't comp it at this point, just to give you guys the true VIP fashion. Probably just have to do like hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored.
Exactly, on our wildly successful YouTube.
So I don't know. It's just like a weird trend how this works. So you got the suite up here. You got the suite at Together in the Trades.
We got you. This is all Brittany.
At the Launchpreneur Academy, I think we gave you guys the grand suite. I'm just calling. I mean,
you're a giver, Brian.
What do they
say? You're selfless.
One time is whatever. 2 times, like, there's a
pattern.
Pattern.
Here, right?
3 and 4 and 5 times in a row. I'm just like, hey guys, like the shtick is over. Like, you can just. Oh,
Britt says a luxury enjoyed once is a necessity thereafter. Folks, it's a normal hotel room. This room is 14 by 14 with a bathroom.
On the 12th floor. Across from his hall, for context, is the room that says it's like the smoking lounge and like the cigar lounge or something, and it's like a jacket and pants are required, no swimwear. And I'm like, we don't have that on our level with the Irish and the bottom of the Titanic cruise ship here. So does the helicopter? I'm genuinely curious. Like, does the helicopter private jet get you from here, or do you have to go to the airport with the rest of the civilians?
Oh God, no.
How does that work?
I don't want to.
Oh, rooftop
with the civilians.
Rooftop. Okay. Like right out of World War Z zombie apocalypse, the helicopter comes to them on the rooftop. Okay.
Yeah, we just summon it.
This is good. So coming down to the wire. We're trying to give Paper King a run for his money with the no value stuff here. Just having a good time. But so a lot of content was created at the Hype House. By the way, we had to come up with a name. It's not like we're trying to be, influencers or something fun like that. It's just
I want to be a famous TikToker.
We're just making content, enjoying a good time. But Caleb, tell us a little bit more about what's going on back at home. You guys have a lot going on. Here's the thing that I think a lot of guys would really enjoy talking about is the shop. So that's kind of like the latest and greatest that you guys have going on. The company's obviously always running above grade and above average and having fun, and you guys are constantly churning over work, and you talk about a lot of that day to day on your guys' podcast, obviously, like State of the Union and stuff. But a big exciting update is the shop. So how's here's what I want to ask is like, for contractors, I've said this before, there seems to be like 2 huge fun milestones in business. One, at least to me it was getting the nice fancier truck, if you're an owner operator or whatever, just having like that owner truck. And then number 2 is having like home base, a shop, headquarters, you rent a building, even a storage locker would like a nice one would be fine. But it's like you got home base, you can a place to store all your crap. So you guys are really just kind of kicking butt on something that I think is a lot of people's dream, which is to have your own shop, your own place to have your trucks, your equipment, your materials, your guys meet in the morning or whatever. So where are you guys at on that? Give these guys maybe like the 5 or 10 minute update about what you got going on.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the storage locker because that's what we operate out of now is a 15-foot by 40-foot storage bay locker thing. Looks like your typical rental unit there, and then we've got outdoor space where the trucks are. And we're a small landscape design build company. We got generally about 5 full-time guys plus Brittany and I, and we've been operating that storage thing for 5 years. Yeah, I wish we've been there for. I don't know, probably 13 years or something crazy. And we moved in there. That was the biggest thing I'd had my company in to date.
Okay.
And I really thought, man, we made it. Here we are, we finally moved into a big storage area. And even though we had just one electrical outlet, but no running water, none of that, just standard storage. And I thought, man, this is cool.
No electrical, no water?
We just had electric, one electric outlet. That was it. We couldn't run a welder or anything like that, nothing big.
Yeah.
But I thought, man, we freaking made it. Like, this is cool. And so the goal's always been to build a facility or to buy a facility to run the company out of. Just that has taken a little longer than I would have liked it to. But again, that's partly due to my sins, the past financial sins and running my first company and all that crap.
Sure.
Which is a long story. But, so now here we are in the year of our Lord 2022.
Anno Domini.
That's right.
Learning things.
And so here we are about to build our facility, and we bought 3 acres of land just outside of Carroll, Ohio. And we're just incredibly excited. But we bought that, got it commercially zoned, so we don't have to worry about neighbors shutting us down or anything like that if they disagree with a landscape company operating out of there or whatever.
Sure.
Which is a big deal, and it was a big deal to us. We didn't want to buy some land out in a rural area and risk, running 5 trucks out of there a day or whatever we're operating at the moment.
Yep.
And just didn't want to risk getting that thing shut down because you're out of business in that location like next day if a neighbor complains kind of deal. So we just didn't want to deal with that.
Yep.
And also too, the land, the premise of why we built this land this way or did this was like, we could buy some land out in the country cheaper, but if you're paying guys to meet at the shop and then drive out from there, that windshield time you're paying those guys to drive is going to add up in windshield time, and you're just going to pay money out for nothing. Like it builds no equity at all. So you're, in my opinion, you're better off to spend a little more on the land closer to town, so you're paying less windshield time. Yeah, your mortgage is going to be higher, but you're actually paying towards, you're building equity in something instead of just throwing it out the window in drive time, paying guys in drive time.
Sure.
So that's the way we looked at it, and it took a little while, and I drove my wife about half crazy, trying to pick out land because she was finding land out a little farther away and all that. I'm like, no, we got to stick to the plan here. So we bought the land. We've got a pad built right now for it. We're going to build a 70 by 120 building with 19-foot ceilings with scissor trusses. So it's going to be, this is my dream facility. Brian, I've been in contracting for 22 years, and this is my dream facility, and we're trying to do it as right as we can the first time.
Sure.
And I know a lot of folks that have built facilities and built houses and all that, and I constantly hear them say, oh, we wish we'd have just, kind of sucked up the initial cost on a few things and not, tried to step over a dime to pick up a nickel in the moment. So we really are trying to, anything we can do that cannot be easily retrofitted in, we're doing it up front. So radiant flooring in the office and in the shop bay, that was a new add-on too, of like talking to some guys of like, if I could do it over, I would have run radiant floor heating in my shop, because laying on your back in, on a cold concrete floor working on a truck or something like that's kind of crummy. And it's like, it's okay. All right. We can at least plumb it in. We don't necessarily have to, you got to get the pipe and the concrete.
Yep.
But you don't necessarily have to do all the buy the heaters and all that junk yet. That is something we could retrofit in down the road.
Sure.
If budget becomes such an issue, we can't do that. So things like just basic little things like that. We raised the offices. We're only going to have 8-foot ceilings in it, and we got to really thinking about it more. Like we want to do 9-foot ceilings, so we raised the whole building a foot, and just like that was a 5% cost increase over the whole structure. But we're trying to. That is something you can't redo, right? Like if we decide 8-foot ceilings and the office feel cramped, because we want this thing also to be like this facility to be kind of a social media hub of the Midwest is kind of what one of our goals is.
Sure.
And we really need the place to have a great, I don't want to say corporate feel, but it needs to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be just your standard little landscape office or whatever, which we could if we weren't. And that's the way we roll this backwards too. If we weren't planning on doing so much social media out of this place, we could rein it in a bit. I'd probably still build the same size building, but we wouldn't build the offices like we're going to, because we're going to have a boardroom and a media room for podcasts and YouTube videos and all this stuff. So we really have some grand plans for the place, and it's going to be really cool. And we're going to have a big meetup in the fall. Hopefully we got the place up and running by then, the fall of 2022. We'll see. You'll see the ads or the invite for it. But anyways, so the front office is going to be, the front third is going to be offices. The mid third is going to be like the Auman Landscape Work Bay and, storage for materials and concrete, bags, whatever the heck we got going on. And the back third is going to be our training academy for hardscape training and in-person hardscape training, all that stuff. So and then the other end of this too is like we're going to have fuel on site, so we're saving money there as opposed to what we're doing now. We're just sending guys to fuel stations.
I like that. I mean,
dude, I can't wait for that.
It'll save them money, like your actual employees. They won't be, lured into, the Speedway gas station or the Wawas or whatever.
Right.
Buying $20 snacks, and $4, $8 Mountain Dews. That all adds up.
Spending an hour's wages a day on just crap at the gas station. That's a road to poverty in its own right. Yep. And so like trying to eliminate that. So it's going to be good for our guys, but we'll also have the fridge there. The guys can keep, their food and snacks, and we'll provide, drinks and stuff. We're really going to make it an awesome place for our guys and for ourselves. It's going to be awesome.
I think Corey Ballard at Perfect Cut, I don't know if it's at cost vending machines, but they have vending machines in there. So
that's a great idea.
Yeah, so they have a couple vending machines there that I think they have it at cost. Don't quote me on that, but
no, that's super cool. That's a great. Because I was thinking about that too. I'm like, man, as much gators would burn through if all the guys just took one a day. It's like $200 or $300 a month in Gatorade or something.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
So maybe that is the smart way to do it. Is just get it in there at cost and like.
Instead of $1.79 at the gas station,
right.
plus the time and the fuel and all that mess. But if it's 67 cents a bottle,
yeah, we buy it by the pallet. Yeah, sure.
Just leave it there. That way, those guys have it. But you're eliminating the bottleneck of them going to the gas station, all that time stuff.
You bet.
But that's what Corey said. He goes, "Hey guys, what's your top 20 things?" And they put a whole list of what the guys were all grabbing in the morning. And Corey's like, "Well, we can get a vending machine," and they have like a little like you said, a rec room or a lunch cafeteria.
Break room, sure.
Break room, cafeteria room, goes from the offices to the cafeteria to the shop. And so it was really cool because I saw the vending machines and he's like, I thought he said that we just sell it to them at cost just to save them some money, save us the time. It was like a necessary evil,
Right.
And how much is a vending machine? $1,000, $2,000. I'm sure you can spend $10,000.
There's a guy on Instagram I follow. He picks them up just out old warehouses and stuff for nothing. He just picks them up, and sometimes. Yeah. I think it's called Investment Joy. It's an interesting page.
Okay.
But he'll get these things, and sometimes they got a couple $100 of cash in them still. It's the craziest thing.
And the little money slip thing. Yeah, that's fine. It's a bunch of old dollars or quarters,
Yeah.
I love that idea. I think that's a really good idea.
Hi, it's Mr. Producer, and these days I wish I was a producer of gas. Maybe I should clarify, gasoline. Thanks to Joeflation, prices at the pump are nuts. Everything costs more. Do you have a plan on how you're going to raise your rates this year? You don't? Well, that's okay, because the LaunchpreneurAcademy.com can help. Brian has a time-tested price adjustment letter that you can add your specific info to and then email or mail to your clients. The letter's only $49, but it's going to make you 7 to 12% more in profit this year. Scared money? Don't make no money. Now you don't have to be scared about how you're going to professionally communicate with your customers so you can remain profitable. The link for the price adjustment letters in the show description.
Well, that's really cool. Well, good for you guys. It is really cool to see this kind of stuff come together because I don't know about you guys listening in, but there's many times where the algorithm on YouTube, you watch one thing and it starts to find you, and it's like, hey, here's 20 other videos like it because it's really smart. So I'll watch a pole barn build, or I'll watch something from Kyle from our buildings, and then the next 9 videos suggested are shop tour, this tour, that tour, that tour, and I just love watching them to see how people have utilized the space.
Yeah,
because you can have a 70 by 120 building, but if you're not optimizing the workflow in there. And where things need to be.
Right,
and that's the tapestry that I'm excited to see you guys figure out and really optimize.
And I'm all ears. If you've built a facility or whatever and you got a buddy that's got something smart, shoot me a DM, please. We're all ears. We're trying to do this right first time.
And there's
as best we can.
Well, there's a lot of folks that have sent me those kind of videos. And like, hey, have you seen and there's some other famous YouTuber guy, he's got 200,000 subs or whatever. And I'm like, no, I've never even heard of this dude. And so they'll send it to me because he just built his custom thing. And then I'm watching the video, screenshotting from, the desktop, where he's got his workbench, where he has his pallet racks, where he has his shop. And I'm like, there's got to be some rhyme or reason, or where's his ear tools at?
Yeah.
He didn't put his ear canister tool thing in the back. He put it up front in between the 2 bay doors. So he has access so he can always fill up the tires out front.
Right.
Instead of having to wheel everything in. But, logically, you're like, oh, you put all the stuff, all the big machinery in the back. Keep it out of the way. But that's the kind of stuff I'm like, man, I don't want to put something in wrong, or maybe put a lift in there one day.
Yeah.
And you're like, we should have did this bay instead of that bay. All that kind of stuff. So I'm curious to see you guys get it optimized the next 6, 9, 12 months. So when I build my own personal shop, or you know what I mean? And,
sure.
and a lot of other guys, we love watching these videos because it is serious investment.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You're dropping a couple $100,000 on these things, and plus, and you want to make sure you do it right the first time. It'd be really cool. Maybe a shop tour would be in the works in the future. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But it'd be nice to go across the country and just get to hear and see what 8, 10, 12 different people are doing out there. maybe look forward to that. That'd be a fun one to do.
Yeah.
So tell us from there. Where do you guys expand with the company? So you get the headquarters. Are you guys building room for future growth? Different divisions of the company. Are you going to have 10, 20 guys there one day? Are you happy with the size of the company? What are you guys going to do with it? Or is it just also an extension for the media company?
Yeah, it's kind of all the above. So this is a bit of debate that my wife and I have because she owns the company technically, and we're roughly at about $1 million in revenue. So we're not a huge company. We're not like tiny like we used to be either, whatever. So I wouldn't mind getting hit in about the 2 million mark, I think is the number, my magic number. I don't know if Britt fully agrees with that yet, but we're also kicking around starting a pool installation division.
Yeah.
So that we've had some meetings with a contractor to partner with on that. So I think we'll be probably going down that road.
Cool.
And
what's the allure for the pools? Because I remember you guys discussing this on
it's been you've seen those conversations.
Well, and I think the one of the things that one of you guys presented was, hey, you can do 7 pools per year,
right?
At $100,000 each, or you can do whatever, $20,000 jobs,
yeah, exactly,
whatever the numbers are.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, that does sound like less moving parts.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's a market for it as well. Where you guys are at?
And I think probably most everywhere in the United States right now, every pool contractor around is booked up.
Yeah,
you
want to jump on?
12 months right out the gate. She's
locked in.
She's not even here right now.
She can't hear us right now.
She's not even here.
That's funny.
But
blink if we can build whatever we want.
She's not even blink. She's such a pro. She doesn't even blink.
Do you want headsets? Do you want to talk?
Snub the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast.
That's fine. We don't want you anyway. We don't want you anyway.
Who does? Yeah, right. We don't want to play with you anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
funny.
So the goal. But yeah, you're exactly right. That's part of it is like reduce the amount of client interaction we have to do and sell and all that, right? So yeah, if we do 10 projects a year versus 20, 30, 40, whatever, and just reducing that.
Are you the pro pool? I thought Brittany wants to do pools.
Brittany is way more pro pool install than I am at the moment, only because I don't have the time or bandwidth to learn all the nuances of pool construction.
Sure.
But if we can find a manager that is, and by the way, if you're out there and you've got pool installation experience, you're around Columbus, Ohio, or want to move, 50 to 100 grand salary, let's talk about it. And you can manage our pool division and we'll install it. We'll build some really cool stuff together. It'll be really awesome.
Are you like going to build a relationship with I don't know if it's fiberglass, but some big, the drop-in pools?
Yeah. We're going to do shell. We plan on doing fiberglass shells. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to deal with liners.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So it's just they're not a kit necessarily, like a kit pool, but like you can, you got to build out the base and excavate and all that mess.
Yeah. I mean, there's still all the
plumbing
work that's the fun stuff to do is dig the hole and all the grading and all the fun stuff and it's just a few nuances that I don't know. We can do all that. So we've got the equipment. That's not the issue, but just the nuances, right, of learning. Just a new trade or a new skill, let's say, of like just what the little nuances are.
Well, I heard Stan say once on a podcast. I think it might have been even the episode I did with him 18 months ago, where he said, like his bread and butter is excavation and demolition.
Yeah.
Right. So he's destroying old pools, ironically.
Yeah, which I think, by the way, will still be a really solid business model in 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that destroy them or just fill them in and bury them back at home because they're a huge liability, especially for a young family, for example, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was him saying that, like, figure out another way to keep your equipment moving, even if it's not in your wheelhouse. So he, like, long story short, he can go build a pad, for some pole barn with his bulldozers or excavators or whatever. But really, the primary use of them is for doing the pool demolitions and even house-like demolitions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I like what you guys are saying. You don't need to buy any really new equipment,
right?
You can, let's say, I don't know if this would really happen, practically speaking, but maybe patios dry up for a minute and nobody wants a patio. Something happens in the economy, but there's still wealthy people out there that money's not going to really probably be an issue if the economy is up or down.
Right.
That's wealthy people know how to make money in the economy if it's good, and they definitely know how to make money when it's bad.
Right.
That's really where wealthy people shine.
That's where the real money's made.
It's on the downside, not the upside. But anyway, talk for a whole nother time. but let's say you guys have patios dry up, or you guys, at least you have the equipment, and you don't have to go buy a whole new pool trenching machine. That's $90,000. It's not like that. You have the equipment already to keep things moving, and I think that's really smart. because your bread and butter is going to be patios.
Right.
It could always transition to pools. Who knows? 5 years from now. But my point is, like, at least you have that equipment to keep it moving.
Right.
You don't have to go buy new stuff, and you're diversifying.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, Auman's still going to be known for making patios, but at least you got pools that can keep you guys busy.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing about it is, like, yeah, we could stand to buy a larger excavator, which we probably will anyways.
Yeah.
At some point, but just for everything in general, with like an 8-ton excavator with a tilt rotator attachment on it, so the bucket spins. And twists and
I've
does
seen
all
those.
this
What's the brand I can never say? Encon?
Yeah, Encon's one of them. Steel wrist. There's a brand called Tilt Rotate also.
Okay.
I just I don't like to advertise for Encon too much because they don't reciprocate much with any of the people.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
well, stop being jerks and stop being cheap. You know, you want to get in front of 150,000.
Tom Gardocki has sold so many of those things for those guys. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Dirt Ninja. So,
I've seen him on Instagram.
Yeah, I think he has the largest tilt rotator on the largest track hoe in North America at the moment.
Really?
Like, yeah, Tom's got awesome stuff going on.
That's the Dirt Ninja guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a master operator. He's just awesome.
Cool.
And Rock Structures, those guys got a bunch of those things too. And then my buddy Andy and Jeremy, Andy Mulder, Jeremy Swihart, they've got tilt rotators on all their stuff and just absolutely love them. And I see the utility in them, absolutely. But, it's you're going to drop $160,000 in the hoe and tilt rotator.
Is that right?
Function. Yeah, it's a serious investment.
The the True Work guy over in Hawaii.
Truth Excavation. Yeah,
True. Not True Work. I think that's a pant brand.
That's a pant brand.
Truth Excavation, the green and black.
Mm-hmm, yep.
I forget the guy's name, but he's a really
Chemo, I think.
Chemo.
Yeah,
that's his name.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool dude. Like I remember DMing him a bunch of times a while ago. I haven't really talked to him much lately, but need to get him on the podcast. But I think he had one of those.
I believe so. Yeah.
A year or two ago, he was one of the first guys I saw with that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a couple other guys quickly thereafter adopted. But that's really, really cool. What's the help us out? A lot of us are long gear guys.
Sure.
What's the allure? What's the bonus for something that can spin like that?
Sure. So what the tilt rotator function allows us, your standard excavator or mini excavator to do is, you've got your standard bucket on the end of that. There's boom and stick, right?
Okay.
So boom is the part of the hoe that's connected closest to the house of the machine, and then the stick is the secondary part out, and then you got your bucket. So boom, stick, bucket.
Okay.
And so that tilt rotator function bolts on to essentially the end of the stick there between your bucket and your stick, whatever.
Okay.
But it allows that hoe bucket to spin 360 degrees and also tilt like 270 degrees each way, or however that degree works.
Yeah.
So what that allows you to do is your machine can stay planted, right? And you don't have to track around and move the machine around as much because that bucket will turn 90 degrees and you can just scoop into the side of something.
Wow.
Or if you're setting pipe, it's also got these integrated grabber. They call it integrated grab. I call them pincers. Everybody gives me a hard time about it.
Okay.
But these two like crab claw things that will somehow they disappear into the thing, but they'll come out. And so it's literally just a gigantic robot, 8-ton robot that can grab and pick up anything. And so you can just stay in the cab and pick something off the truck, set it down, right in your work area, snag a piece of pipe, dig the hole at any angle because that bucket twists and conforms to whatever you're doing. And so it just takes that machine from, just one function
very linear
to endless functions, because then also it's got a hydraulic quick connect. So you can take the big fat, ditching bucket or bulk material bucket, to really hog out a hole. You immediately just spin around, drop that bucket, put a 12-inch bucket on, and get your real little detail work done.
Yeah.
And you're not getting out of the machine to undo the pins and put a new bucket in and all.
Is that
all
what you have
these
to do right now
things.
traditionally?
On our hoe, yeah, we've got a manual quick coupler on our hoe, but it still takes, you got to get out of the cab. And I know it sounds silly.
No, it's like getting off the lawnmower to pick up trash.
100%.
It's like the same frustration.
Yeah, and it's like you eliminate that kind of thing being done 10 times a day.
Right.
Just in one aspect of your job in your day.
Shutting it down, getting in and out.
Yeah, and then also, you risk, smashing your toes, your fingers,
right.
doing all that stuff, or, getting off the machine, twisting an ankle, whatever, like crazy. Which actually Nick Carlson was saying the number one injury in the green space at the moment is guys getting hurt, getting on and off of trucks, in and out of trucks.
On your episode,
so crazy.
Yeah.
And he said Brightview and Brick, all those guys have the numbers to prove it, and it's reality. So as much as that kind of stuff as you can eliminate out of the company and out of the work. So that hoe bucket just allows, that attachment allows, because also you can put pallet forks on there, you can move materials closer.
Yeah.
It's just, whatever you can come up with, it'll do. It's just awesome.
How much is that wrist, the knuckle, the thing that spins?
It's going to be if you outfit it properly with the buckets, you're going to spend 40 to 60 grand on that.
Just that actuating piece,
Yeah,
or whatever, rotating.
It's insane because they also have to change. They got to rewire your joysticks in the cab to add the functionality to it.
Wow.
And then also you can.
That's all aftermarket. Is anything integrated currently with any of the big developers?
Caterpillar just started doing their own integrated system. They bought someone else's thing and put their name on it, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it might actually be the Tilt Rotate brand. I don't remember, but yeah, the Caterpillar's doing it. So good for them.
Well, two things I was going to say. One was talking about skid steers for a second. And I don't know the function. I don't use skid steers. When the Hardscape Academy opens up, I'm going to buy the first couple tickets so I can go on down and learn how to mess around on all this stuff because I think it's really cool. But the quick attach I don't know, when you take off a bucket, what's the called when it like hydraulically attaches? Just grabs it.
Bobtatch is what Bobcat's version of it is, and then every other brand has like a hydraulic quick couple for skid steers.
Okay.
And if you're considering buying a skid steer, and if you can swing it the extra couple $1,000, do it. It's something I cannot live without now. It's so crazy.
I think it was you that I first saw that. Maybe Nickens or somebody was talking about it.
I think Alex got on his.
Yeah, I think somebody was like, "You got to get this." It's like $2, $4, $5 grand. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. But they're like, and I'm like, well, "What's the difference?" They're like, "Dude, like it's like life or death. Like night or day. Like in terms of convenience." Well, and I'm kind of like imagining this the function of the Encon.
Yeah.
Encon. What a weird name to say. Like
it's named. I just found this out after talking to some guys about it. It's.
My mouth feels weird saying
it's like John Engston is his name. So they just shortened it up to Incon, and I'm guessing Ing Construction or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the beginning of some guy's name.
Well, I'm thinking like the excavator that you're talking about. Like I don't know if you guys have ever like not sprain your neck, but like when you slept on your neck wrong, like at sleeping, and then like you can't like turn left, for like the next 4 days. I don't know if you ever had anything like that where you're like, dude, like you like lock up and you're like, dude, I'm gonna die, like because then you have to like turn your whole body, and you have to move the whole machine versus like just having your neck what we're just used to, just normal functionality, like turning left and right. This is once or twice where I like my neck was so stiff and sprained where I'm like, literally, I think I need to go to the hospital. Something broke or separated, And I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Like you have to reposition the excavator every time,
exactly,
to move, 3 feet over. But if you have this articulating piece and one or two different axes, then you're just able to scoop and dump, scoop and dump.
Yeah, it's seriously. You wouldn't. I used to think it was a load of hooey, or I just used to think it was trumped up. And the other funny thing about these tilt rotator things is they've been in Europe for 25 years.
Is that right?
And fully utilized for 25 years because they originated in Sweden, but like you can't in Germany. I think they originated in Sweden or Germany.
Where is that? Is that in relation to like, let's say, making me like a Denmark or something?
Oh, jeez. What I can tell you is Germany is south of Denmark. I do know that now.
Yeah, right. You do now have to get chastised.
Oh gosh, you got crucified for that.
Yeah, South America for everybody's wondering.
But like Europe has been. Fully adopted the tilt rotator thing for 20 years at least. And I was talking to Tom Gardocki a couple years ago at the GIE, and he had just gotten back from Germany. He's like, there's not a machine over there without these things on them.
Okay.
So they've like fully figured it out. And you hear the United States is just now like, yeah, maybe not a bad idea, but still like half the country's like, that's dumb. Why would we do that?
And that's interesting that you bring that up because Multi One was a company that I remember seeing at Expo a year or two ago, and I'm like, where are you guys all from? And they're like, well, Italy. I'm pretty sure it was Italy for those guys. But man, you see like the innovation that they're doing in Europe for a lot of this equipment. And look, this isn't my category talking about heavy equipment and all this mess that you guys deal with daily. But it seems like a lot of the stuff that is in Europe trickles over here 10, 20 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know, like Multi One's got this, and this going on. And like somebody just now is putting it on a machine in America. And then everybody in America, all the contractors are like, well, that thing is dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and we're in the same thing with lawn care, there's different attachments or updates. That's interesting.
It's so weird that like we're so fast to innovate here in the United States, but yet at the same time we're so slow to adapt to some stuff. It just like you look at it like, man, that makes total sense. Why are we so set in some of our ways? It's so crazy.
Well, I've had conversations with Nick Carlson with the Mulchmate. Shout out to Nick to go back to Nick for a second, and he came up to my not my show, but the MGIA show, our spring lawn care show, and I think it was last year or 2 years ago he came up. Maybe it was 2020 before before the world ended with COVID.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, what'd you think of the show? He goes, cool show, good foot traffic. It was a decent show, good turnout. But he goes, man, like, y'all guys are like 10 years behind in this region compared to what we're doing back at home. And he goes, back at home, like, he goes, and I go to other regions and they're 20 years behind on the mulch game. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, people up here are like looking at my booth going, what's a mulch mate? Like, and he's like, oh, it's a conveyor system and it shoots it out and you can move, hundreds of yards a day versus
it's slick.
Yeah. And the people are like, well, I don't know about that. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, they're like, well, it's $30,000. He goes, yeah, but it saves you hundreds of thousands in labor and material.
Right.
And but that's my point. Like he goes, sharp crowd, sharp bunch around here. But he goes, but man, I don't know. Like you guys, some of you guys' folks are a little behind, and that's something that I never want to have somebody say about me.
Right.
Like, hey, nice guy, super smart, super sharp, but he's like 10 big years. But like we've already been doing this for 10 years, and boy, like we were doing that in the 90s.
I'm with you. I really want to try
out.
to be, and I still find myself being hard-headed on things, and I really am trying to be like, that's like with the NFTs and all the stuff, I'm trying to like really pay attention to it and be like, we actually created one, I'm just trying to like not be that guy, because I'll never forget.
Sure.
When text photos came out, and they're like, you can send a text picture on your phone, and I remember thinking, well, that's dumb.
I remember saying that too.
And it's like, I look back and I'm like, thank God it's not like today where that's in writing somewhere or on some Instagram story somewhere where I'm gonna
get canceled.
Now the only part, yeah, right. But I mean the only thing I can begin to square that against was like, well, it was sending like a 0.2 megapixel photo, so the quality of the photo was crap at the same time. So I was kind of like, you can hardly see it, whatever. That's the only way I can justify it, maybe a little bit, Brian. But after that one, and in hindsight of that, being 20 years ago, it's like, don't ever say that again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be open.
Thank God there's other people that are saying, well, this is going to be a thing, and they're innovating, they're thinking, they're way outside the box.
Henry Ford said if I'd asked people what they wanted, they'd just said faster horses, right?
Yeah, and so that's why Detroit has the faster horses concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's...
no kidding. So you Detroit folks would know that.
Oh, they have faster horses there back in Michigan. That's an interesting concert for sure. I'm a little out of the age group for that.
Okay.
If you can imagine.
What is it, like techno, like freaking EDM?
I've never been. No, I think it's more like a country festival.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That would make more sense, I guess.
But way, more... for the younger crowd,
sure,
that gets a little rowdy.
Yeah, right. Okay,
times 1,000, right? You can extrapolate. I don't think exactly where Liz and I would be, or taking our baby there for example.
Yeah, okay, definitely not one of those.
Not a family-oriented environment necessarily. Yeah. But I digress. But so that's really cool. It is fun to see what the industry is doing. Different industries are doing. That's one of the reasons I love going to trade shows all the time, because you never know. Just something simple like the Billy Goat stand-on leaf blowers, I'm like, who would have thought like 10, 20 years ago, you have a dedicated stand-on blower. Now I'm thinking about picking one up in the spring, one of their little ones, the P2000, because it just makes sense.
I think you're going to see a lot of that mentality shift. I really think in the past even 2 or 3 years with the labor crunch is really forcing people to realize like, well, I can't just make up or brute force.
Yeah. Well, think about we were all there 3 years ago, the Toro Dingo XL 2000 or whatever the SKU is. I probably got it backwards, but it was like $70,000 2 years ago.
Right.
And remember, they had one at Expo, and people were just like, I don't know what Toro's smoking. Like did the Mopar guys get a hold of that or something? From Dodge or whatever. And did you ever see like the meme where it was like it was like one thing was like, oh, we'll put a V6 in it. The next guy, we'll put a nice engine in this. And then like the Mopar guys are like, it's like a line of cocaine. They're like sniffing it, and they're like, let's put a Hellcat engine in the Pacifica minivan. It's like EcoBoost was in one.
Absolutely, yeah, right.
And the Hellcat Mopar guys or whatever, they're like, let's do this thing, man. Let's put a Hellcat in there. That's what I feel like with the Toro Dingo.
Gotta love the gearheads pushing the envelope always. I love it.
It's like put a Hellcat engine in a Pacifica, But that's what I feel like all the time when I'm looking at all the different innovation, what these folks are doing. And then like the Toro guys, people are like, well, did the same team do the Toro Dingo 2000 XL? And then you catch up with Toro and you go, hey, how are sales? And they go, hey, we're sold out of them for the next 6 months.
Right, yeah.
There's a 4-month waiting list. And you're thinking, maybe I'm the idiot.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how I look at different things. When people poo-poo on a stand-on mower, or just whatever, pick your thing. It's just, I don't know, it just keeps reminding me like, hey, keep your head on a swivel. We don't have it all figured out.
Right.
The game is always changing, you know, and if you don't change, guess what? You're changing.
Yeah.
Because everything around you is moving on.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, I'm not changing at all. Well, you're going to change just as fast as everybody else. Because you're going backwards.
About the wrong way, right.
Yeah. So that somebody got me on that one once. I was like, man, if you're not changing, you're changing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm screwed if I do, screwed if I don't. So I better get out in the water, start paddling, you know?
Yep, exactly.
All right. Well, this is what I got for right now. Fun episode. Anything else that you want to talk about, like highlights, last minute stuff? But if not, we'll button it up, man.
We're just cranking ahead here, trying to get our shop. Hopefully have that thing up in a couple weeks, or starting to go up. So we're really excited about that. Looking forward to that. And we're pretty much going to be heading home here to Ohio to pretty much our season start up about mid-February. So that's like, and to everybody out there, folks, get your rest, get ready to go. It's really, actually, maybe by the time this drops, it is go time.
Yeah, spring's going to be right around the corner.
I can't wait. I love spring.
We're recording this first week of February, but it's going to be probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks this comes out, and maybe mid-February, late February. So, man, it's going to be right around the corner.
It is. It's go time, man. So keep your head on the swivel. Keep open-minded to things here.
Well, we're getting flagged down by the landing team over here at the airport. The private jet has landed for the Almonds, so we got to make sure we get the Range Rover over here to usher them to the
I'm not doing
tarmac.
Range Rover anymore. See, you told me Range Rovers are a liability.
Yeah,
when it comes to fancy vehicles. So
yeah,
I definitely guess my 86 F-150 is going to have to do for now.
Yeah, well, it's always nice to have a classic with your 57 Chevy next to your GTO.
I figures you could turn that around somehow.
And my late Model T that was $800,000 went to Barrett Jackson for it. But any which way, so we're gonna button it up right here. The Almonds never disappoint, and it's always nice to check in on the 1%, see how they're doing, and that's what I got, man. So, Caleb, where can everybody find you? And then we'll button this up, man, and get you tarmac. Let's go.
At Auman Landscape on all the social platforms. You'll see us there. Thanks for having me on, Brian. It's always fun, buddy.
Absolutely. And in total full circle irony here, I think they are literally making a helipad at their shops. They left that out.
We are going to do
convenient.
that. Yeah. Well, there's too much to talk about. Man, can't cover it all. But we are just for fun going to put a helipad at the shop, and it's kind of a running joke here, but it will be pretty funny.
So Auman Aviation, another division, they're now hiring pilots. You'll see the Indeed ads on a website near you. So
paper planes. There
you go. All right, guys. Well, over now. Always a good time hanging out with Caleb and Brittany Auman, and appreciate everything that these guys did all week long, putting on the Green Industry Hype House. We had to call it something, and I got vetoed on the collaboration station. It didn't seem as cool of a name, but the Hype House sounded a lot better. So new way. Shout out to the Hardscape Academy, by the way, and Launchpreneur Academy for sponsoring the week. We wouldn't be having all these conversations as it wasn't for the abundance out of those websites that you guys support. And so if you need if you need lawn contracts, lawn resources, learn how to lay mulch to residential and commercial contracts, we got you covered at launchpreneuracademy.com. Give it a look, give it a glance, and maybe you don't need something right now, but if you get somebody calls you up, a gas station calls you up and says, hey, we're looking for a commercial quote, and you've never done one before, we've got you covered. Go to launchpreneuracademy.com, get the commercial contract, plug and play, and submit that as a little request for proposal. And I would say you probably got an 80-90% chance of getting that account. Not based on the fanciness of the contract necessarily, but it's just a very professional-looking resource. And if you get that back in a timely fashion, you can lock those accounts down real time right now as we go in the spring. So, and then simultaneously, 30-second plug. What's the Hardscape Academy? Hardscape
Academy is an online on-demand streaming platform for learning how to install paver patios, paver work, retaining walls, and some other installation, hardscape installation stuff. We've got those training courses coming out as well soon. So, yeah, the hardscapeacademy.com.
Awesome, man. Well, they're my go-to. Anytime people talk pavers, retaining walls, anything outdoor living space, I'm like, yeah, check out the Almonds. Their plethora of knowledge. And he does run one of the most value-oriented Instagram accounts on all of Instagram.
We attempt to.
Yeah, so trying to give Paver King a run for his money here. Hashtag no value. Just having fun. We love Mike. But anyways, right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to button it up right here. Appreciate you guys listening in. Always here for you guys on the podcast. We're all about helping you guys grow a more successful lawn and landscape company so you guys can go out there and crush it. We do our best with Lawns Lessons Life. We're talking a little bit about everything from money to finances to relationship to entrepreneurship to the X's and O's, and sometimes talking about equipment, like we did today. So if you guys want want to check out the rest of the podcast, make sure you guys double back and catch up with us here on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every morning around 7 a.m. the podcast drops. We always got some fresh mind food for you guys to, chomp on as you guys are going through your day. So, all right, over and out here from the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. We look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
Hey, Britt, where are we going to be at in June?
We are going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, of course.
My dear, what for?
Together in the Trades.
What's that?
A summit for couples in business.
What's that mean?
It is a conference that we are putting on with Brian and Liz Fullerton. It is for couples that are working with their spouses, and even if you don't work together, like in your business, your spouse is still involved in your business, and they still deal with your emotions that you bring home every day or your stress level. So what we
If I go to this thing, do I just got to sit and listen to you goofballs talk the whole time?
No, we bring in people smarter than us to do some of the talking. We bring in marriage counselors, and we had an author last year who wrote books. This year, I think we're
books about marriage.
Books about
not just random books.
An author that wrote books.
Yeah.
And this year, we're going to have someone come and talk about the Enneagram. So
what is an Enneagram? I don't even know what the heck that is.
It's like a personality test, and it's so eerily correct that I had to.
For those out there that know what Enneagram is, check it out. And so, what number are you? What number am I?
I'm a 1.
And I'm a
3.
There you go, folks. So check it out. Togetherinthetrades.com.
Togetherinthetrades.com. Tickets are on sale now.
Awesome. We'll see you there.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.